everybody.
Hello, Alex. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you, but it looks like, or not. I think you can hear me, but it doesn't look like I can hear you. One moment.
You can't hear me? Okay, wait. Uh, I cannot put on any headphones because then people won't be able to hear you because we're streaming this.
I think you can hear me, but it doesn't look like I can hear you.
You are audible on the stream as well. Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No? I'll just type in it for you. Oh no, still no. I don't know. Maybe start. But the icon shows that I'm talking. Okay, so maybe rejoin. Okay. I don't know if we saw that. Okay. Am I audible now?
Hi there. I hear you now. Different browser. Things work now.
Perfect. 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 So let's get ahead. I'm so excited to have you here today for this YouTube live. I was like, for the longest time, I was like figuring out who's gonna come from the Econia. And then I was like, okay, Alex is gonna come. Okay, we have a lot of questions that we can ask, and from the founder
Mhm.
themselves. So I'd like to start by asking, what is the funniest moment that has happened while developing this product?
Oh man, that was not on the prep list. Funniest? I think it was probably when we were running our first testnet campaign, and we created all these rules. We added this throttler that was an auxiliary contract to monitor different kinds of trading, and we said you can only trade 500 APT at a time. And then people realized, oh, if I place a limit order that doesn't posts, it can be more than 500. And so then we had to change the throttler, and then people realized that they could place a limit order, and then they could change the size to be above 500. And so people kept figuring out ways to get around the little rules we had set. And I remember working with my team to enforce the rules, and I felt like I was like a drug narc or something. And that was kind of fun, running the testnet campaign and making sure everything was working smoothly, because we just had so many people participating, and we're like, okay, I guess people are going to be looking into all the different ways they can use this, and so it was fun to play that kind of game there.
I mean, I read that text on the group where they said, okay, we're not sure how people would want to use us at sometimes, so we'll also be discovering some of that. And I was like, okay, this is a complete adventure now we're on for the next few
Mm.
days. But that was fun. In fact, for us also, it was a very new experience, and I can only imagine how it would have been a wild ride for you guys. So that was not the question on the memo, but from now I'll adhere to that because we wanted to know
Yeah,
this.
another thing I thought of too was when my co-founder Kirsten and I first started out, and we were getting the community all set up with the different, like the Discord channel and the website and everything. I remember we had a channel in our Discord called GM. I think it's still there, and it's just where people type GM. And I thought it was the funniest thing seeing the GMs come in. And it got old after like kind of a week or two. I still every once in a while might go in and say GM, but I remember when I saw that the first time, I thought it was the funniest thing, and I was laughing for like 5 minutes.
In fact, we have one in our Discord too, which is just GMGN, and every day I open Discord and I see that okay, I'll go just, and people actually use it. That's like it's the culture Web3 has made that people actually go and say GMGN. So otherwise, I would have archived the channel. It's very active, and I say okay, maybe that is the sweet part of people's day. So let's keep it running there. But yes, diving in, would request you to introduce yourself once for our audience. And I know you, but the audience would still love to know a little bit more.
Yeah, so hey everybody, I'm Alex. I'm co-founder, CEO of Econia Labs and core developer at Econia Labs. I authored the Econia protocol and oversee product management and technical direction for additional tooling and SDKs and testnet campaign and all that.
So you see, all of it is covered, and I am the community manager at Kana Labs, and look forward to this. And we have a great audience also. So I'm just checking if we have any questions here. People, if you have any questions, you can type them on the chat, and we'll love to take them forward as well. Till the time we get questions, I have some for you. So I I'll go start with those. And first one, it's like, why is an on-chain order book important to the crypto community? Why did you feel the need for this product?
Yeah. So everyone who's involved in crypto at some point probably interfaces with an order book because they will be using it on Binance or Coinbase or KuCoin or whatever, and they'll transfer in their fiat and then they'll exchange it for a gas token and then they'll send it to the chain and they'll use it. And so a lot of times that's the first stop for people. Like sometimes people might be savvy and they'll get stable coins and then they'll start on Web3. But the first time they buy something, the first time they actually get involved, a lot of times people are just like buying a gas token like Aptos or like APT or ETH or SOL or whatever. And it's strange to me that is gated in centralized servers when the entire promise of Web3 is doing things decentralized. And to me, a large promise of what crypto and blockchains can provide is transparent on-chain trading. And in my view, on-chain trading is the killer app of blockchains. I view them as more so like a computer than as some kind of like maybe a ledger per se. I mean, a ledger is an important part of it, but that's just one subset of this. Like there's a distributed computer, and that's what a blockchain is. And in our case, we've leveraged that in Aptos to create an on-chain trading experience. And because it's on-chain, it's open source, permissionless, it makes it composable. So partners like Kana Labs can build awesome trading products on top of it that people can trade with experiences that they're used to seeing on places like Coinbase. Actually is on-chain. And in some sense, there's less overhead. We deploy the protocol to the blockchain, and you don't have to have a building, you don't have to have as many offices, you don't have an entire NASDAQ has an entire corporation behind it. It lives on the blockchain. And so it simplifies things, and it also cuts out middlemen in the way that we're providing a trading experience. So there's a lot of tangible benefits that come with building on a blockchain. And in our case, the product that we want to build, because it's so high performance, we kind of had to build it on Aptos. And I'll leave it there because I think that we might be touching on something like this in another question.
Fact, that is one of my questions I wanted to ask. Like, why did you choose Aptos? Like, there's so many chains out there. We've lost count, I feel, at this point. But why Aptos specifically?
Aptos is one of the newer high performance chains, and understood that there are so many out there, and the question is why. In our case, we really couldn't build it anywhere else because what we were after is very specific technical performance requirements. So high parallelism, atomic settlement. And what this ultimately means for the end user is just that your trades settle fast, and it's simple, and it kind of works how you would expect. On other platforms, the time to finality might not be fast enough, so you have multiple seconds lag between when you place an order and when it clears. And in the modern economy, the market's shift so fast, that means the price can move against you, and you might not get the most favorable execution. We also leveraged the block STM model that Aptos uses. So this is a specific part of how their virtual machine sequences and executes transactions in parallel. And the way that we designed Econia from the ground up is around this block STM model, so that we can have multiple markets running in parallel, so that the transactions don't collide if someone's trying to trade APT on one market and someone's trying to trade, wrapped Bitcoin on another market. We make sure that those two things can work at the same time without any interference. And so ultimately it means more data can flow through the system effectively. When I first learned about Aptos, I actually understood it from the context of the DM/Leaper project, which was previously an internal Facebook R&D project that had tons of resources, engineer hours put into it. And my intuition at the time was, well, if anyone can build a scalable global distributed system, it's Facebook engineers. And that intuition is proven largely correct so far. I know that Facebook can be kind of a dirty word in crypto, but like, if I'm speaking from like objective engineering terms, like they handle so much data every day at Facebook, it's no surprise to me that they created a blockchain that can handle as much throughput as we've seen on Aptos. And to that point, in our first testnet campaign, which was at the beginning of the month that Kana Labs was in, we saw 2.8 million, I think, fills during the course of a week. So that's 2.0 million, instances of money changing hands between counterparties in a week. Up until that point, our testnet contract had indexed, I think, 15.8 million assorted like events. So anytime someone placed a limit order, anytime there was a balance update, like basically any substantial interaction with the contract, we hit almost 16 million events up through the contract at that point. And we're running that was essentially to balance our contract. And we are doing another campaign right now that is to help people get more involved with trading on our partners' front end. So retail, we want to make sure they know exactly like what it is like to buy and sell, limit order, market order on any of the front ends, and basically just have practice using different Econia protocols, because we're a back end, and so we want people to be able to use the front end. I drifted a little bit in my answer, so I think I'll probably call it there for the official why Aptos response.
Anyway, I wanted to understand what are the features that are involved in it, and you have already touched upon that. So it will be lovely to know more about them. So, how do you explain it to us? Like, how does the order book work, and like a few features that we can deep dive in is something I'd like to know more.
Yeah, so the core features is, the first one is spot trading. So this means trading standard assets like APT and a stable coin against one another. And that is what we've been supporting right out of the gate in these testnet campaigns. On market ID 3, it's APT, and USDC, it's the Econia APT and the Econia USDC that we had a little faucet for on testnet, and we throttle that. And that's what people would expect when they buy crypto for the first time on Coinbase. They'd go on like an APT, or for finance, wherever, they go on the APT market, transfer in their fiat, and then they'd buy APT off the order book. And so we're providing that same experience, and it allows people to do limit orders, buy and sell. We have order restrictions like immediate or cancel, fill or kill. A lot of these can be kind of more complex because we provide like very centralized exchange-like trading experiences. So for the most part, people are going to see limit orders and market orders, and that's going to be sufficient for 95% of the things we want to make sure retail has, a simple product they can use. It straightforward. But Econia, because it's permissionless and composable, and we want to provide for a host of trading experiences later down the road, we also support margining. So people can delegate custody of one of their sub accounts to a third party. And that third party can, for example, place trades using borrowed money from a borrow lend pool, and say there's a liquidation event. They can cancel orders, withdraw them, and then they can cover the lenders in the lending pool. So it unlocks that margin trading feature that allows people to lever up while also giving lenders and creditors basically the right kind of security assurances they need in order to lend out their money. We also support derivatives through this feature we've added into Econia called the generic asset, also known as asset agnosticism. We've seen this in some previous attempts at on-chain order books, most notably Bonfida on top of Serum, which was a Solana product. So the idea is that for any market, you don't have to mint a new coin type, but rather you can create what's called a generic asset. So there's an underwriter for the market who basically just says, I certify they have this many perpetual futures contracts or whatever in their account. And because it allows an account to be credited in that way, people can trade any asset they want, and it eases the registration process for any market because people don't have to upload new code. They can just create a new, generic asset market and they can be the underwriter. So we have those, we have the spot trading, which people are already seeing now, but there's also margin trading and then there's like derivatives, and in particular, I'm excited for perpetual futures. And I'd like to see obviously kind of do that. I think we might be nudging the team a little bit because I know they've expressed some interest. So we'll see how that transpires down the road. And yeah, and because it's open source and it's fully permissionless, that means that there's just like infinite composability. Like you could build fractionalized NFTs on top of Econia. You could build in-game markets on top of Econia. There's no limits, but there's certain things that we kind of expect people to build, and so we've added in the endpoints that they might need for that.
So this is cue for all our audiences to listen closely, and this is all you can build on top of Econia. You can hear it closely and come up with your ideas, and and hope the project goes up and up. So coming back to people and community, so would love to know more about your future plans in respect to the product, and if you are coming up with some community initiatives along with it.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, so right now we are in our second testnet campaign, and this is geared at engagement from our community and the Econia ecosystem community that is sprouting up with all the different projects that are starting to use Econia. So right now it's kind of like a scavenger hunt. You got to try all these different order types, all the different front ends and whatnot. And so we're seeing a lot of great engagement from that with a raffle process as well. Beyond that, because the protocol we're trying to build almost like a public good of sorts. We want to make sure that there's community ownership of that right now, because we're still pre-launch and where we don't have a coin associated with the product. We are running the Econia protocol. It's deployed under a multi-sig contract that has 3 to 5 schema, of which Kana Labs is one of those signatories. So basically any upgrades to the code, any changes to the fee parameters, things like that are already community governed by the people who are integrating with Econia, by the builder community. And longer term, as we see more of an ecosystem grow around the product, as there's more retail engagement, we want to get more involved with even more distributed, decentralized forms of governance. Often this takes the form of like a token for voting, as we've seen in other DeFi protocols. And mainly our goal is to just have as much community ownership of the product and direction over how it gets deployed, what maybe some of the configurable on-chain parameters are things like that. Because ultimately we want Econia to be for everyone and owned by everyone.
I am pretty sure Econia will be pretty known to everyone who cares about us and Econia and all the different partners because of the great marketing efforts we've been putting up. So like right now a few people know about it, but very soon a lot more people will know about it. Also the testnet campaigns, they're one of the best things we can do to attract people. And we did one last time and the results were amazing, as you shared. Hoping for great results this time too. And with that, I would like to know, like, we know that you gained a lot of eyeballs for the last competition, and what are your learnings from it? And like, I know there's one more competition going on right now. What do you feel? Do you think about doing more so in the future as well? So that.
Yeah, so our first testnet campaign, we wanted to have almost like a stress test. We wanted people to throw everything they could at the core protocol. And so we incentivized volume. And what ended up happening was we saw a lot of developers actually writing high performance bots, even building their own AWS projects so that they could place more trades on Econia. And at the same time, we wanted to engage the more like retail oriented traders who want to point and click and use the front end like a lot of people are going to be doing in production. And we realized that there needed to be like a separate track basically for those two camps. And that's why we have the second campaign, because we want to reward the community members who are in the Discords, who are playing around with the protocol, who are filing web reports, all of that. But at the same time, in that first testnet campaign, we got some really valuable insights when we had people all around the world blasting in orders at scale. What was really exciting to see was that the core protocol didn't miss a beat. It settled like all the millions of trades we talked about. At one point, there were multiple thousands of open orders on the order book, and there was no issue with settlement or matching. What ended up being a bottleneck ended up being the downstream like data indexing tooling. So we had these auxiliary hooks in the move contract that people could call off chain. They're called view functions, and would let them index the order book. The order book got so big that it was running out of gas in the simulation mode. So we had to add pagination, which means you look at a little bit of the order book at a time, and then you're fine. And similarly, we had to do pagination, meaning like we had to chunk things out into smaller pages instead of one big one. And we had to do that for the indexer stack we're using that indexes all the trades that are going through. So basically, there was just so much data going through it. In a couple places, we had to break it down from gigantic blobs into smaller chunks, which was kind of a good problem to have. Like, oh, the bottleneck was off chain downstream. It's just there's just so much data going through the firehouse that it's hard to drink from it. So that was like a really fun, I'd say, that lesson to learn. And it made me feel a bit like I was strapped to like way bigger of a rock than I thought I was strapped to, and it's about to take off.
I'm happy we were able to take care of it and get through it. So, uh, cool thing there. And I checked the chat. We don't have any questions as such coming, so we can skip the Q&A part. Good thing. If you have any advice or any anecdotes you'd like to share from your experience, which you think would be fun, would be grateful to have
Mhm.
those.
Yeah. So I'll share a little bit of a story, and it is about how Econia started,
Yeah.
which was from a hackathon project. So this was May of last year, where I worked on an early primitive version of what would eventually become Econia, and went to the Aptos hackathon with my co-founder Kirsten, who was on a separate project at the time, and presented on it, and it won a prize. And we got invited to be in this accelerator program, and one thing came after another, and eventually here we are. And so it really all began at a hackathon. And so it was because I was just interested in the tech and wanted to build something and wanted to hack away. And I know there are a lot of people out there who don't always know like where to start, or they're like, oh, how do I get into crypto? And they're a developer and they know how to write software, and it's all software, but they maybe don't want to take that first plunge. So I would just encourage people to find tutorials and read the docs and hack and like hit your head against the wall a little bit, because in the early days of Aptos, that's what it was like. There's a lot more documentation tutorials now, but at the beginning it was like, okay, I need to upload the bytecode. How do I upload the bytecode? And like, I'd say that just finding your niche and being persistent in it with a project, I think ultimately is what pays off the most. I'd encourage people who are developers, first of all, to start getting involved, and then people who aren't developers to start getting involved in using these products, because there's an entire community out there of people who um, who are like the actual users for these things. And there's an entire community of people who use them together, who go from like, competition to competition and try and beat their friends, or maybe you're involved in different communities. And like Hana's community and Akani's community, we have plenty of people who are in there just because they love DeFi or just because they love crypto. And so I would suggest people just try and find their tribe online, and or with their local friends wherever, and just start using these products more and more, because there's so much to learn, and there's a lot of fun to have too, in using these new products and becoming and like an expert on what you can do on what chain or in what way, even if you're not building it yourself. So I think that we need more people building things, and we need more users using the things that people build.
So it's just like, okay, now our listeners have motivation to build more products anyway, because Econia started as something of a hackathon project, and now we're here, and so many people can build on top of it. And if they want to start off by building on something that's already existing, they can obviously refer to Econia and build away. So this was great. I really appreciate that it took the time to come here and answered all my questions. um, Lovely having you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. So, with that, we have wrapped the first part of our stream. And the second part of our stream is trading online. So, would love to have you all trade online with me. And here we go. Can you all see the platform? Maybe say a yes or a no in the chat and I'll know. Yes, no, can't see anything. I'll just start in a minute then. See everyone join in. Okay, so for everyone to join, I'll share the link in the chat. And please, I hope you're all with me on the order book. Also, we'll be telling you the Zeely code very soon. So stay tuned for that. And yep, that's coming. So up on the order book again. And our first, are you all here? Okay, I'll assume everyone's here. And we'll start with the steps. So our first step is to connect a wallet, which I'll go with a normal Google wallet. Like social logins are gasless, hence I'll do a social login. Also, if you are trading with us right now and you share a screenshot of this for us on Twitter, tagging us, we'll be very happy to see you there, and we would have some surprises for you too. So do that. I'd say maybe this is your time. Do it. And here we go. So this is the trade book. It's loading, and my account is already connected here. And next step is to go to the faucet and get tokens. So we can get EAPT tokens, and then we'll go for EUSDC tokens. And here we can see base coin faucet added. So we got the tokens for EAPT, and then we have to check out the EUSDC tokens. We got those two. I hope everyone is here till now. And yes, so after this is the order book, and here we have the market price. Here we have the orders that are prices that people are willing to take for this coin. Here we have the Aptos coin against the USDC and the prices that people are willing to sell at. So people want to sell at a higher price always, and but we can have our orders put in here by a market order or a limit order, whatever you choose. So I'll do a limit order here and price it at 7.511, or let's make it 512 and make the amount 10. And you see my transaction was executed here, and here it's there in my history too. It's a closed order. Or if I do it for, if I sell it for 7.58, then I can sell 20, and this says that the transaction is successfully done, and here it goes. Can execute market or limit orders both on the platform. Market orders, since they're done at a market price, they don't show up in the order book. But if you're doing a limit order, it would reflect in numbers that are showing up on the order book. So I hope everyone is trading live, and do share your screenshots of trading right now on Twitter, tagging us and sharing your experience. We would have lovely surprises for you. And for my friends who are here from the Zeely Quest, the code is TRADE. That's trade, TRADE. And if you enter this, you'll win the Zeely contest. And looking forward to have you all there winning the contest as well. And if you want to share more feedback about this, please let me know on Discord as well. I'll be there. And yeah, thank you so much everyone for joining in. If you have any questions regarding this, please drop them on the chat or on Discord as well. We're always there to answer your queries. So yep. And I'll do another round of this very soon. I'll just wait for a minute, and we'll do another round of explaining you how to go through the product once again. We'll start again with the whole process, and we'll connect the wallet again. We'll get the faucet tokens. We'll buy, we'll sell again. So the advantage of doing market orders are orders that are executed at the market price, that is this, which we can see here. But limit orders are the ones that are executed at a price that you might decide. Let's say this is the market price, but people are ready to sell at higher prices at 7.548, at 7.584, but you don't want to buy at that price right now, and you don't even want to buy at the market price. You want to buy it at a lower price, so you set a limit order saying that you want your order to be executed when they reach this price, and that saves you the hassle of like always waiting for that price to go down, or maybe always watching the screen. And once you've made the order, it does not expire in 24 hours or anything. It just stays there till the time the price has reached to your intended value and gets executed till then. That is the beauty of an order book. Your order just stays there till the time it's not executed. And this is the volume that you have for all the prices that are mentioned here. So you can always see at what price point how much of APT you can take. Say you want to take you want to take 7,000 APT at this price, but that is not possible because the volume is not that high. So for the first 6,928 APTs you'll get will be at this price, but once that is done, you'll move on to the next price, that is the higher price, and you have to buy at the next price that comes up. So depends on the volume. Then you can make your orders looking at the volume itself, and not uh, like make an error there by saying, okay, why did I not get all of it at the same price? Because then you have the volume in front of you. The volume keeps on changing though, because people keep on changing their order limits, and whatever if they have ordered something before, they can cancel it. It's very easy. Let's say I have or limit order open for a price 7.543, and I'll make it for 20 Aptos. Okay. We'll go through the process again because I've not connected my wallet and got the testing tokens. So let's start again. First up, we open tradebook.kanalabs.io. That's this website which is already there in the chat. And next we go to connect wallet. We connect with our Google wallet. I am connected with my personal email here. You can connect with your personal email. So social logins are gasless and hence they are helpful for us. Then I go to the faucet and I claim EAPT, and I can see it here. I got it, and I'll go to the faucet and claim EUSDC, and yes, I got them too. Then I go to deposit and withdraw to get this tokens that I've received into my trading balance. So I can this is my wallet balance now, and this is my trading balance. So I'll just take all of my wallet balance to my, or just they say max, I can say 50%, it will go to 50%, 25%, or I can clear it and start again. But I'll say I want it max, and I'll say transfer to my trading balance. I've done this for EAPT and my transaction was done. I'll do this for EUSDC also, and I'll again do max and transfer them to my trading account, and again that's done. So now my trading account has balance too. Balance is reflecting here when you're placing your orders. Also, a cool feature about this is that you can see global trades. That is, all the trades that are happening on Econia at every point of time are visible here, and you can see them. And here we have the history and we have the open orders. So let me start by doing an order at 7.542, and we make it an order for 200 Aptos. We sell it. And if we can make a limit order here, we'll do that. So here we have our order in the queue, and here we have it on the order book also. You can see our order is showing up. It's here now, and uh, it's there in the open orders as well. If I want to modify it, I can click and modify the details here. If I want to delete it, I can simply click on the delete button and cancel my order. Once I click delete, it will remove from this order book as well. You can see I'll do that. It will take a little bit of time, and yes, orders successfully cancelled and it's gone from the order book too. So that is how you can go ahead and use the order book. uh, Volumes are mentioned. The system is very simple. If you still feel like you are not able to get a few things, we are always available on Discord and Twitter. Wherever you feel like, you can ask us questions. In fact, if you have any questions right now, you can ask them in the chat and I'll be happy to help you with them. For all my friends who are from Zeely and want to enter the quest, so I am very grateful that you entered the live today, and the code that you need to put in Zeely is trade, that is TRADE. And with that, I think all of us, I would like to thank all of you who joined us for this live today, and great things are coming. So stay tuned, guys. We are coming up with a lot of more products, a lot of new things for you all. the community members, and always grateful for the support. Thank you. Have a lovely day, everyone.